if ancient giants weren't just myths, but real beings who once walked the earth? From massive skeletons to forbidden archaeology, this video explores the mind-blowing evidence that challenges everything we thought we knew about human history. Nearly every ancient culture, from the Greeks to the Norse, from the Sumerians to the Native Americans, spoke of beings of enormous size and strength. The Bible refers to the Nephilim, described as mighty men of old, men of renown. Norse mythology tells of the Jotnar, primordial giants that predated the gods themselves. In Hindu texts, there are stories of giant warriors who fought epic battles in the skies. Even in Native American legends, tribes like the Paiutes described a race of red-haired giants they called the Sitaka. Are all of these just coincidences? Or could these shared legends be echoes of a forgotten time when real giants roamed the earth? Some researchers believe these stories are not metaphorical, but rooted in ancient encounters with something colossal. The consistency across continents and cultures hints at a global truth, long buried under layers of myth. But where is the proof? One of the most controversial pieces of evidence comes from alleged discoveries of enormous human-like skeletons. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, newspapers across the United States, such as the New York Times and the Washington Post, reported the unearthing of skeletons measuring 8 to 12 feet tall. Many of these bones were reportedly sent to the Smithsonian Institution, but here's where it gets suspicious. Almost none of them can be found today. Whistleblowers and conspiracy theorists claim the Smithsonian deliberately hid or destroyed these remains to protect the mainstream narrative of evolution and anthropology. In 2014, a viral story claimed the Supreme Court ordered the Smithsonian to release classified documents proving it had destroyed thousands of giant skeletons. Though this story was later debunked as satire, it highlights growing public skepticism. Are these reports hoaxes, misunderstandings, or intentional cover-ups? And if the bones are gone, who made them disappear? In Nevada's Lovelock Cave, miners digging for bat guano in the early 1900s uncovered something strange: giant human bones, allegedly with red hair. According to Paiute oral history, the Sai-Te-Ka were a race of cannibalistic red-haired giants who terrorized the region before being wiped out by a tribal coalition. Incredibly, some physical evidence supports the legend. Enormous sandals over 15 inches long were discovered, along with a mummified body over 6 feet tall, an impressive height for the time. The cave also held artifacts, tools, and weapons seemingly designed for beings much larger than average humans. Mainstream archaeologists acknowledge the Lovelock Cave was indeed used for centuries, but they deny any giants were found. Still, the combination of folklore, physical remains, and archaeological anomalies continues to raise questions. Could Lovelock Cave be a preserved burial ground of the giants the Paiute feared? The megalithic builders, too big for humans? Let's shift focus from bones to buildings. Around the world, there are megalithic structures that defy logic and engineering, at least by ancient standards. In Baalbek, Lebanon, lies the Stone of the Pregnant Woman, a massive stone block weighing an estimated 1,000 tons. It's one of the largest stones ever carved and moved, yet no one knows how it was transported with ancient technology. In Egypt, some stone blocks in the Valley Temple near the Sphinx weigh up to 400 tons. In Peru, the fortress of Sacsayhuaman features stones so large and tightly fitted that not even a piece of paper can slide between them. Could these structures have been built by, or for, beings of massive proportions? Some alternative historians believe these megaliths were remnants of a pre-human or hybrid civilization, perhaps the very giants described in ancient texts. Skeptics point to ingenuity and manpower, but even today's cranes would struggle with such feats. So who built them? The book of Genesis introduces a haunting mystery. There were giants in the earth in those days, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men. These beings, called Nephilim, are said to be offspring of divine beings and human women. Some interpret this as mythological metaphor, but others, including ancient astronaut theorists, believe it may describe genetic manipulation or hybridization. The apocryphal Book of Enoch goes further, describing fallen angels teaching mankind forbidden knowledge, warfare, sorcery, metallurgy, and producing gigantic offspring who devoured all in their path. Eventually, these giants grew so corrupt that God sent the Great Flood to wipe them out. Could this be an ancient allegory for a real genetic catastrophe? Modern science has uncovered traces of ancient hominids like Denisovans and Neanderthals in our DNA. So is it truly unthinkable that another now extinct human variant once grew to extraordinary heights? There have been baffling archaeological finds over the years. Giant axes, oversized spearheads, and even megalithic tools found in South America and India. In one case, workers in a Turkish village reportedly uncovered a stone hammer so large it would require a person 12 feet tall to wield it. In Egypt, statues depicting pharaohs seated next to humans of drastically smaller size are often dismissed as symbolic. But could they actually represent literal scale? Some tombs in Sardinia, called giants' graves, are built with stones so massive that mainstream archaeologists struggle to explain their purpose, except to say they were burial sites for elite individuals. But locals believe these were homes or tombs for actual giants. These out-of-place artifacts are often written off as ceremonial or artistic, but what if they're precisely what they appear to be? The everyday items of a lost race of enormous humans. The Bible isn't the only ancient text that references giants. In Greek history, the Titans were a race of powerful beings who preceded the gods of Olympus. In Irish mythology, the giant Fionn mac Cumhaill is said to have built the Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland. Medieval and Renaissance writings from explorers in Patagonia reported entire tribes of 9 to 12-foot tall natives. Even ancient Chinese writings speak of mountain-dwelling giants with immense strength. Throughout history, conquerors and missionaries have returned with stories of encountering people who towered above the norm. Are these exaggerations or echoes of encounters long forgotten by science? While most scholars dismiss these accounts as metaphor or myth, the sheer number of consistent stories across cultures suggests there may be something more profound lurking in our shared human memory. Something our ancestors knew, but we have chosen to forget. With modern genetics, you'd expect any trace of a giant race to be long gone. But some researchers claim anomalies in human DNA might point to an unknown archaic lineage, one that doesn't match Neanderthal or Denisovan ancestry. There are also isolated cases of gigantism, like Robert Wadlow, the tallest confirmed human in modern history, at 8 feet 11 inches. While his condition was medical, what if ancient giants weren't abnormal, but the norm for their species? In 2002, a team working in the deserts of India claimed to have found a skeleton measuring 36 feet in length, though this was later debunked as a hoax. Still, such stories continue to surface. Is it all internet fiction? Or are some of these hoaxes deliberately pushed into obscurity to maintain the current narrative of human evolution? Why would anyone want to hide the existence of giants? If proven real, it would upend much of what we believe about our past. Academic institutions, religious doctrines, and evolutionary theory would all face immense scrutiny. Some believe that powerful organizations, including governments and museums, have suppressed this information to avoid public panic or ideological upheaval. Whistleblowers have claimed artifacts and bones were confiscated shortly after discovery. Others say reports of giant skeletons are routinely scrubbed from the internet or labeled as misinformation. While it's easy to dismiss these claims as conspiracy theories, the patterns of disappearance and the lack of transparency around certain finds are hard to ignore. Is the truth too dangerous to reveal? Here's where it gets even stranger. In remote jungles of Afghanistan and the Solomon Islands, local tribes speak of giant beings who still roam the wilderness. American soldiers during Operation Enduring Freedom even claimed to encounter a giant of Kandahar, a red-haired 12-foot humanoid that allegedly attacked and killed members of a U.S. unit before being gunned down. The body was reportedly airlifted and never seen again. Though the story is unverified and controversial, it echoes other tales from remote regions, where enormous footprints, mutilated livestock, and eerie encounters are whispered about by those who live closest to the edge of the known world. Could a small population of giants have survived, hidden from modern civilization, once walk among us? The The legends, bones, monuments, and mysteries say yes. The institutions, experts, and textbooks say no. But maybe the real truth lies somewhere in between. What do you believe? Are we the descendants of ancient giants or just the keepers of their forgotten legacy? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're fascinated by forbidden history, lost civilizations, and discoveries that rewrite everything, we've got more mind-blowing episodes coming soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a revelation. This is the Trendy Orange, where the past isn't dead, it's just hidden.